G'day, Aussie Gridiron fans. Welcome to the G'day Gridiron podcast. It's the Week 9 reaction show. Ready to go. Hey, Isaac. How you going tonight, mate?
Oh, I'm very well. It was a week of upsets, I believe. I didn't do too well in the tipping comp, so must have been upsets.
I'm not even sure I look at the scores in the tipping comp, to be honest, anymore. I know I do good and bad. It's sort of middle of the road. I am mediocre city there. But yeah, it was a week of upsets and blowouts and ridiculous scorelines again. This seems to be becoming the norm, mate, every week now.
Yeah, it's good to see though, and the Bengals, even though they're losing, are starting to become must-watch because it's just high-scoring games.
They are. They're reverting back to the Bengals of 2024, to be honest, where the defense is still a bucket of shit, and yeah, they can outscore just about anybody, but without someone to make at least one stop, it'll never happen.
Isn't their defense just horrendous?
I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that tonight on the reactions that we've got, because I'm pretty sure there's a couple, and I may have made a few myself. So we've got a whole bunch of reactions to go through tonight, as well as a preview of the Thursday night football game for Week 10, which is the Raiders at the Broncos, and we have another NFL fan in the house tonight, an Australian NFL fan, with us to go through that game, but also just to give his side on some of the reactions that are out there. So let's welcome in Jack. How you going, mate?
Very good, thank you, and great to meet you guys, and great to have gotten a little bit of a chat in before this podcast started.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to meet you too. Good. Thanks so much for coming on. We've been sort of reaching out to some different people here and there, and you were one of the ones that put your hand up and was keen as to come on and talk football.
Look, I mean, honoured to be extend the invitation to, and I had no hesitation accepting the chance to talk some American football with you guys.
Yes, awesome. Righto, well, Jack, we ask our guests who do come on a few pretty basic questions so everybody out there can get to know who they are and in sort of about their team and their NFL fandom. So nothing too strenuous, mate. Let's start with, how long have you been an NFL fan, Jack?
So look, I guess I took an interest to Gridiron, say, probably during mid-teenage years, but the thing is, I didn't really get to follow the sport like I would have liked to, probably till, say, my late 20s and probably 2017 onwards. So probably around the time that the Patriots had the comeback from 28-3 down.
The dreaded 28-3
game. Well, I actually still remember that game. Like, I had free $100 worth of bets on William Hill, and I did $10 bets. And one of my $10 bets was on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. And I remember I looked at the score while still at work, taking the mail just up the road from the accounting firm, and it was, I think, 7 minutes left of the third quarter, and I saw the Patriots were still down 28-9. So that's all I saw. I thought, okay, well, they're out of it. And then late in the afternoon, I looked at the score, saw the score afterwards. I'm like I just froze in shock. The Patriots had come back and won, and much less that they said it was history made in that I believe it was the first Super Bowl to go into overtime.
All right, I don't remember actually. I'm not great with my history.
I believe that's what was mentioned after the fact. And like, I watched some of the like highlights from the 28-3 down onwards, and like, I think Julian Edelman was saying that they literally everything had to go their way, and like seeing like Edelman's catch, especially, like that was just one example of everything going their way when it mattered.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
that's
everything
unlike the Patriots.
Unlike the
Isn't it?
Patriots, all there. Everything seems to go the Patriots' way. Even when you think it's not going their way, it's definitely going their way. Well,
Yeah.
but Jack, we can see there. Anyone that's watching on YouTube and watching the video can see that Jack is clearly wearing a Raiders hat. So obviously you're a Raiders fan, Jack. How did you land on the Raiders as a team?
So the thing was like, I was actually at the Grand Hotel in Labrador, late February 2020, and I was talking to a friend about, I guess, sport, and somehow got onto the topic of NFL. And at the time, like, I'd sort of like, I guess, supported Patriots because, I mean, I always had a soft spot from, like, say, my teenage years, along with two other teams, which were actually the Rams when they were St. Louis, and the Packers. But so first things first, in 2017, a friend convinced me to sort of side with the Patriots, and then fast forward to 2020. Like, I didn't really have any Patriots gear, so I wasn't like a committed fan then. And then that night in 2020, at the end of the conversation, I said to my mate, what I said was, I guess, like, new hopes, new beginnings, like myself, because I just moved to Gold Coast 2 months before. And at the end of the conversation, I said to my mate, you know what? I'm gonna start going for the Raiders. Like, it was 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks after they had finished with Oakland. So, admittedly, I'm not a like classical quintessential Raiders supporter, but admittedly, I'm a fully Las Vegas era Raiders supporter.
Yeah. Well, you missed out on the good era, the tough as nails era. That's what you missed out on.
I know, like, I guess the identity to what it used to be, which was like sort of that grungy sort of team, is not the same identity anymore. Like, it's a different Raiders era.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah,
100%.
Brad and I have been saying on our podcast for a little while, both agree, and I think Isaac did as well, that the Raiders need an identity, and they had an identity when they were at Oakland. They had this tough as nails, this rough sort of exterior identity where you just didn't want to mess with them at all. You didn't want to go there and play them. They were going to beat you up. And then now they just seem to be lost in this weird void of Las Vegas where, everyone goes and gets lost for a weekend, essentially.
Well, I guess the thing is that as it's shown with Oakland City in itself in the last few years, I guess Oakland has just not been willing to keep sporting teams there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've seen it with like the Athletics, who are temporarily in Sacramento while the stadium in Vegas is getting built. And the only team that the San Fran Bay Area really managed to keep was the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not quite in Oakland these days, but they're still not far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
But Oakland otherwise just seems to have not been willing to keep the teams or build the facilities to keep the teams.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's unfortunate. It's just the way that area is structured. It's too hard to do anything in there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, another thing, a lot of people seem to give Oakland a not very good rap.
I think it just depends on whereabouts you come from there, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, like,
It's a sketchy place, but they're a community nonetheless, and they act like a community at all times. So they keep to themselves. That's the thing. Righto. So we're going to go through some reactions tonight. Some stuff. Once again, we put out the post in the NFL Fans Down Under Facebook group, and we put the post out on our Instagrams. We're going to go through some of the reactions that have come from, actually all the reactions that have come from those posts, everything that people have sent us. So if you'd like to get involved with the reactions every week, then just look out for those posts at the end of sort of main game day, so Monday in Australia, be it on Facebook or on our Instagram. You can find all our links at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. Go there and chuck in whatever reactions, and then just like we're about to do now, we'll read them out and we'll have a chat about them, whether it be with Isaac and myself and Brad or someone else just like Jack who is jumping on to have a chat with us. So let's go through some reactions from week 9, boys. We've got heaps to go through tonight because we've just had a swell of people coming on and just leaving their thoughts on the week and any particular games that they might be, whether they're a fan of the team or not, it would seem, just the thoughts that they were thinking. So let's start with one from our old mate Isaac, Matty Connor. Good old Matty C says, and of course Matty C, of the host of the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. You can check him out on this feed and our Elite Tree as well. What was the kryptonite today for Green Bay and Indianapolis? Isaac, there definitely seemed to be some kind of stutter step for both the Packers and the Colts this week. The last two teams that had only lost one game, both lost this week.
Yeah, so I think I know the kryptonite for the Green Bay Packers, and it was the uniforms they were wearing. Oh my goodness, they were horrible.
Has anybody? I need to go back. Has anybody won in a heritage uniform so far this year?
Oh, I don't know, but I caught some of it because I like keeping an eye on the Panthers this year, and oh my god, they were. Anyway,
because I tell you what, the Packers got on the Packers fans got onto the Chargers about their shit uniforms last week, and then they go and just lay a complete egg against the Panthers at home, nonetheless, in their even worse uniforms. It's a good thing they're wearing brown pants, Jack.
Well, I mean, given the fact the Packers' 2 losses have come against, well, the Browns and the Panthers of all teams this year, maybe they're just saving their shit form for the shit teams, and who knows? No, they might end up calling up against the Eagles next week. But I mean, that game I'm still picking the Eagles. But who knows? Maybe Packers are just looking to win when it matters.
Well, it could be win when it matters, but I think they all matter at this point for the Packers in an NFC that needs to have some kind of dominant force in it. Someone needs to do something.
Like the Packers should. Look, they should win the amount of games they need to win to make the playoffs. Like when it comes the end of it.
Yeah. Well, they're in a tough division, so I don't know. They've got to win every game they can.
Yes.
I think they're in the division with Detroit. The Bears are up there now, and
all wins matter in
the
that
Vikings.
Division. All wins matter in that division.
Exactly. So, I mean, they can't be letting games slide against. Well, they've got the draw, which is either going to hurt them or really help them. But they're losing. They're losing to, as you said, Jack, the Panthers and the Browns. Like, guys, you need to win those ones, otherwise you're going to miss the playoff.
Wait, and you know what? On the other side of that game, the Panthers, everyone says that Bryce Young is still shit, can't play football. He's okay, but you know who's not shit? Rico Dowdle, back as RB1, where he goddamn should be, and the guy goes and just kicks ass against the Packers, runs all over a team that hadn't been that bad against running backs so far this season, but it's until Rico Dowdle comes to town.
But I mean, with the Panthers, they were in a pretty precarious spot a while back as far as I guess demoting Bryce Young, and then they brought him back up. And it seems on this second phase of Bryce Young, I guess they're doing better than they did in the past.
Well, they showed last week how important he was. Like, Andy Dalton was bloody horrible. Like, he shouldn't be back on an NFL field. It should be Bryce Young from now onwards, barring any injury. And going to the second part of Matty C's question, what was the Indianapolis Colts kryptonite? It was probably the run defense of the Steelers. Like, Jonathan Taylor, who's been probably offensive player of the year so far this season, only recorded 45 yards, and he was the leading rusher for the Colts.
Yep.
So
Brad and I talked about it in the preview show. about the fact that it was the big test here was going to be the Colts offense against the Pittsburgh defense. And that's where that deciding factor was. This is the first time the Colts were coming up against a half-decent defense, and especially one who have been quietly amazing against the run in every single game this year. Their run defense is on point, and they did. They shut down Taylor. It's such a weird game by numbers, this one, when you look at it, because Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr. Both got 115 yards, receiving. Josh Downs got 57. Like, Daniel Jones threw for 342 yards and a touchdown. And he got one rushing as well, a goal line touchdown. And you look at the Pittsburgh side, and it makes no sense. But it is all about the defense. The fact that they sacked him 5 times and just really stunted anything that they had in the red zone.
Yeah, and also like that Pittsburgh, Steelers versus Colts game, it's also one of those games where, like, if it was playing in Indianapolis, it could have been the fact that maybe the Colts end up winning. Like, it was one of those games where sometimes you sometimes get those sort of games where you, like, I got to pick based on the home field advantage. Like, it's that sort of close on ability and paper.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the Colts defense didn't have a good day. The offense had an okay but not great day. And they came up against a Steelers team who are just better on one side of the ball than they are on the other. And they just know how to win a game. So they got across the line. Colts didn't. Colts go 7-2 now. Steelers are up to 5-3 in their division. So, it's just pushing along for the Steelers, who are in a really weird spot, Isaac.
Yeah, they are. They're in a winnable division now, and it's going to be a competitive division with Baltimore rising again with the return of Lamar Jackson. So they're one of the teams that need to keep winning the games if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And Tim Hopper also had to say, he's a Steelers fan, Steelers defense looked better today, but Slay's not the guy. They need to trade for another cornerback and a wide receiver before the deadline to be considered playoff threat. I totally agree with that sentiment. They do need you need to pick up more on defense because you've got to make that better. Better than what it is right now. It is even better, and that's a playoff caliber team if you do that. And they definitely need an actual wide receiver that can get out there and hustle on every single down.
Yeah. Well, every wide receiver you hear in trade talks is linked with the Steelers for that fact. They need another one. And Jack may not like it, but you hear a lot of Jacoby Myers to the Steelers. It's coming up a lot. Jacoby Myers wants out. I believe he doesn't want to be in Las Vegas anymore, so that'll be one to watch as well.
Yeah.
And like if it ends up being that Myers goes to say Steelers, like Isaac said, that's the thing with Raiders is that we want to make sure that when we trade, that we're like getting a good exchange in the deal, which I probably trust more that John Spytek would probably be better in that than say our past GMs that we've had.
Yeah, with help from Pete Carroll as too.
Yeah.
Yeah, righto. And then let's go on to Aidan Carroll, who's obviously a Pats fan. Closer than I'd like for the Pats. Didn't look pretty, but got the job done. Winning tough or ugly is an important skill. Totally agree with that. Did it against a good defense too. Good to see them hang on despite giving opportunities to Atlanta, who may have won. I think the Patriots, I think he's selling them short a little bit. I think the Patriots played pretty well. Yes, it was a close game. It was 24-23. They sort of let the Falcons come back into it in the fourth quarter a bit too much. But I think the Pats still won pretty well. Winning pretty or ugly is probably one of the most important parts of that entire reaction, though, Isaac.
Yeah, you got to win. That's a playoff caliber team, I believe, the New England Patriots, and that's what playoff playoff teams do. They win ugly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. But didn't Drake London have a day out? Jesus. 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, 118 yards on 9 receptions? Like, yes, please.
Where's Drake London been all season? Because the Falcons, once again, I still don't know what to do with the Falcons. Holy shit, this team just keeps coming up and
Keep
down
losing.
everywhere. I just don't know what they're doing, Isaac. It's like, I don't know where to put them. We do our power rankings, and I'm like, what the hell? What do I do with the Falcons? Because one week they're good, one week they're not. Then they go and take the Patriots, who have been great, right down to the wire.
They're
Yeah.
very inconsistent. They are so inconsistent out there. It's just so hard, as you say, hard to get a gauge on where they're at. But at this stage, it's a lost season because they're so far behind the Bucks and now the Panthers that it's going to be hard to come back, and you're not going to get 2 teams out of the South in that division. So they've either got to win their division or they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, like, it's just been hard to know what to make of the Falcons this season. Like, they've had some, I think, 1 or 2 good wins, and they've had some close games, and they've had some thrashing. There's just been a mixed bag for them. And as far as the Patriots, as soon as I found the Patriots had hired Mike Vrabel's head coach, like, I was actually very excited for them, because since I've seen or heard of Mike Vrabel back in these head coaching days at Titans, like, I saw like how good and strong of a head coach he was then, and how much the management basically fucked him over with some of the player decisions they made before he got fired. Like,
100%.
and it also helps, I guess, with Vrabel being head coach of Patriots now, that he's a former Patriot player who was part of the 3 of the winning Super Bowls with Tom Brady during the 2000s.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better head coaches, and it's a great hire by the Patriots.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely, it was.
I mean, as far as like Vrabel, lastly, he's the head coach at. It's a weird way for me to say this. He's sort of the head coach that I wish Raiders had got, but at the same time, sort of happy he didn't go to the Raiders at the same time, because as good of a head coach as he is, the problem is for me that I reckon his career as a head coach could have possibly end up being ruined or diminished in Vegas. That's the that's sort of the catch-22 I see with if Vrabel would come to Raiders as head coach.
Yeah, I think that's going to go. I hate to say it, but I think it's going to go that way for a long time with the Vegas for now. But we might get onto a bit of that later. So let's see. Scott Hempel. If only the Broncos could play more than a quarter of football, still winning games, but that formula won't cut it against good teams like KC and the Bills. The Broncos, of course, won 18-15 against the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, who lost CJ Stroud fairly early on in this game to a horrible head knock, which has now become a concussion. Hopefully he doesn't miss too much time that he needs to. But Davis Mills came in, did a fairly reasonable job for the Texans. But once again, the Texans are one of those teams where if you take away one of their big pieces, they just seem to fall apart. They just don't seem to click. The Broncos, I don't believe the Broncos had a great day, though. And I have to really agree with Scott in that as well. Because the team that we've seen the last couple of weeks wasn't there, but they managed to just get the job done.
Yeah, as we just talked about with the Patriots, so the playoff teams have to win ugly or have to win tough, and that was one of the ones for the Broncos where they won tough and they move on to the next week. Now, to Scott's point, it's probably not going to cut it against KC and the better teams, but they weren't playing one of the better teams. They were playing the Texans, so they were allowed to have one of those days and still get the win to keep their record intact. in that division.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I mean, and I guess that's the thing is that, unfortunately as it is, that Raiders are going to be one of those teams which Broncos could get away with playing one good quarter against as well. Like, but otherwise, hopefully, with any luck, maybe we might find a week to turn around and like shut out the Broncos' strengths to the point we get the upset in Denver. Like, I mean, it's Broncos have had weird 2 weeks. Like, look, that 33 points in one quarter at the end again, like that was insane. And then again, like, I guess Broncos had to tough it out against the Texans, who admittedly are like not as good as their last 2 seasons, but and that's what I was touching on before with that Raiders versus Broncos game. Like, I guess Broncos have also got the other advantage that Raiders have got a 4-day turnaround between home to away, which, like I said, that's quite brutal and also very rare to have a 4-day turnaround between gridiron matches.
Yeah. Certainly is. And it's, as you said in your own reaction here, mate, when you pointed that out, was Raiders-Jags was actually entertaining to watch. It was a pretty good game, actually. Raiders-Jags was a pretty decent game. What did you actually think of the whole thing, mate?
Well, look, I mean, I guess first things first, in that when the scores were 0-0 into the second quarter, even after the first quarter, the commentators were saying, "Oh, this is the most entertaining 0-0 game that we've watched," and like it was a sort of like slow burner sort of game, and I guess the thing is that it was one of those games where, like, Raiders, when they fell behind, they managed to answer back. And it was just sort of like that back and forth sort of game where, like, we kept ourselves in it, and also like having, I guess, the Geno Bowers combination was a difference. But Genty, he also did his part as well. I guess early on, was a Polar Mal or whatever, Polar Mal, like, he had a great save that would have been otherwise a Jaguars touchdown early on, which that's one of those sort of key plays that makes a big difference to the result. And like, yeah, look, I guess the fact that we like did well, but only under circumstances of Bowers being back after a long time away, also just shows, I guess, our lack of diversity to win or like do well in different, like, in multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
Like, and also like, yeah, we like basically we were at least competitive, but we had our moments to win it. We had our moments to take it out, and at the end of the day, we just couldn't quite get there. But we still need more numerous and diverse ways of attack. And also the other problem is on the defense that Crosby seems to be doing a lot of it. It's almost as if Crosby's doing a lot of it by himself.
Yep.
As well, like,
yeah,
it's been the way of the Raiders for the last few years. He's been your shining light, and players around him aren't really performing at the level that they need to be. And you'd hope with Pete Carroll as your coach that he coaches that out of them and brings in players that are actually going to play the way he wants to play. And I think we mentioned before about the Raiders not having an identity. They need to have an identity, and it needs to be on defense.
Definitely.
And like, I mean, that's the thing. Like Pete Carroll, he seemed to still have that energy and that vigor as a coach and a person, even to this day and his age. But I guess the problem is that it must be feeling like a bit of a uncanny reality check for him, for us to be 2-6. And honestly, preseason, look, I thought preseason, my predictions, I thought we'd finish say 9-8, where we would either be the weakest playoff team or the best team to not make playoffs. I thought we'd be on that sort of cusp. But I guess, we're just not getting to the... I would rank as modest standard as I thought we would.
Yeah. Yep. I'll tell you what, though. One final thing there. Brock Bowers, what a dude.
Oh,
man, that guy
what a
is just
stud.
amazing. What a stud.
What a stud.
3 for 127.
Well,
so
like with Brock Bowers, even before he started his rookie year, I guess my early sort of prediction of Bowers is that I honestly thought he would get to, I reckon, at least, say, Kelsey level tight end sort of greatness.
Yeah.
That or either Kelsey level or somewhere in between. I thought his potential was that or somewhere in between Kelsey and Gronkowski.
Yep. He's well on his way.
Yeah, 100%. Our old mate, Bobby D, is back. She comments, doesn't matter what Joe we have, Bengals still suck. Bobby D, you're getting a bit hard on the Bengals here. I commented this back on there. I replied to this comment and just said, look, I don't think it's about the Joe. The problem is that we all thought this defense, like I said at the top of the show, we all thought this defense was going to be shit. And sure enough, they're shit.
It's shit.
It's shit. It's bad. They had a couple of weeks where they looked okay. And everyone thought, I wonder if they've got it together. But nope, they're still shit. Because every single week now, two weeks in a row, they've scored more than 38 points in a game and still lost the game. There's nothing wrong with the offense. If anything, it shows that Flacco coming in with what little preparation he has, and he was sick this week too, so he didn't even get to practice. He comes in with so little preparation and can score these ridiculous amounts of points with this offense, and it shows how good this offense is. But it doesn't matter how good your offense is if your defense can't make one single solitary stop when they absolutely 100% need to win a game, then you are going to lose every single time. Jamar Chase said it in his press conference. He went off, and basically he said, just one stop, one fucking stop. That's all we need. And he's totally and utterly right, because that's all that the Bengals defense needed to do at the end of that game was stop the Bears once in that final drive, and they couldn't even manage that. The Bears quite literally ran away with it at the end there, Isaac.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson got into his bag from the highlights that I've seen. He ran a few trick plays. So, it's like, to Bobby D, like, I'm sorry you're a Bengals fan, but as Ian correctly pointed out, it's the defense.
Flacco threw 4 for 470. 470! The old man threw 47 times again.
But, it's the defense. Like, it wasn't Lou Anarumo, who's now gone. It's still the same shit defense. And until they get that sorted, guess what? They're not going to be competitive.
Trade a lot of them at this point. Blow the whole thing up on defense.
Don't touch the offense. Go and get what you can for Trey Hendrickson.
Yep, don't touch the offense.
Yeah.
Blow the rest of it up.
Well, they can't touch the offense because it's too expensive.
I'm pretty sure there's a few places that still pay the money for T. Higgins or Jamar Chase right now. T. Higgins, god damn. I painfully made a decision to leave him on a bench this week, and he goes out and scores 33 points. I still won the matchup, but I was just like, holy shit, it was way closer than it needed to be.
Mind you, I played Caleb this week, and I was like, oh, thank fuck I played Caleb.
I'm pretty sure it was
50 burger.
I'm pretty sure it was the one PPR guillotine league where I actually had him on the bench, Isaac, and I managed to scrape through, but I was just like, god damn.
Well, look, I was shocked to see when it said the Bears won, because I was watching the Raiders versus Jags game at the time, and they mentioned the Bengals versus Bears game, and I don't know if I was not hearing correctly, but I thought the commentators had made out that Bengals had won that game. And then when I saw the score afterwards, I'm like, did I hear him correctly, or did they just jump to conclusions thinking the Bengals had it? and lost right at the end.
No, everyone was thinking after that final Bengals drive that the Bengals had it because literally all the defense needed to do was make a stop.
Yeah.
Well, actually, in one of my group chats, Taylor said, he said in the group chat, the Bengals have scored too early. And that was exactly right. They scored too early and gave them enough time to go down the field and score.
They didn't have that much time though, Isaac. When he ran away with it, there was still only seconds left. There's no way they were getting there. But when you end up with, 40-something yard reception, it was like most of it was after the catch, and it was just garbage. You just need to put a player on the ground.
Before, yeah. Like, as I was saying just before, like, I guess even the commentators talking during the Raiders versus Jags game, like, they must have thought the Bengals had it. And then probably had the shock of their lives when they found afterwards, nope, not today.
Actually, speaking of Ben Johnson going into his bag, I'm
not
just looking
today.
at the...
Hang on, I need to. Where was it actually? Well, I'm still. It was. Not that one. The touchdown. There it was. It was a 58-yard touchdown pass that Williams threw to Loveland. That's right. And it was deep middle. So if they'd put it, and he had like 2 or 3 players around him at that point when he got away from him. And if they had put him down in the middle of the field, because the pass was so far, they would have, like, they only had 17 seconds left at that point. So they would have, like, had to, like, rush to sprint to get there, which because they're in the middle of the field, they can't, and they had no timeouts left. So,
okay.
it was just stupid.
And actually, it's quite ironic as well that the, so Ben Johnson's Bears, sorry, but, I was getting it almost mixed up there because, when you say about the Bengals having strong offense, but crap defense, I guess it's sort of winding back to, I guess, the Detroit Lions, I think of 2022 when they started 1-6 but still managed to finish the season 9-8. Like, the thing is, the difference is they managed to improve over the season, but I guess that Bengals team now, it's sort of still reminding me of that early 2022 Lions team where, like I said, they put up a lot of points, but still lost games. Like, example, when they lost 48-45 the Seahawks in that 1-6 start. This Bengals lost the Bears is a close example, even score-wise.
Yeah.
So, Bobby D, calm down, righto? Get on the defense, not on the offense. There's nothing wrong with Joe. That old man can still throw the ball. He's still amazing. Our old mate Damien, Isaac, Commanders have lost all hope, and it shows, spiraling out of control. This was before the news
the Jaden Daniels
that
injury.
Jaden Daniels is going to be out. But they also lost Luke McCaffrey to a broken collarbone.
Lattimore,
ACL. So this was before those two came out. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I haven't talked to him since, but I'm pretty sure Damien might have lost all hope at this point.
Yeah, he lives and dies by those Commanders. He texts me every week after the game. What do you think? And you're like, mate, I'm sorry, but they are gone.
Yeah.
But I heard today that they don't think that Dan Quinn said maybe Jaden Daniels can return before the end of the season. Like, it was only a dislocation in the elbow. There was no real muscle damage. So it looked pretty horrific, but it might not have been that bad of an injury. It doesn't matter. Sit him out. You're not going to make the playoffs. This season's done. Sit him, get ready for next season and see how you go.
Yeah, just like in this game, don't risk him.
Yeah. The injury happened at 38-7 or something.
Yeah, they were 31 points down.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn had to address that in his press conference too. The fact that he still had him in there when they were 31 points down.
Yep. Yeah, I did read that today that he actually mentioned it because people were getting on him about why is he still in the game.
Yeah. The Seahawks played amazing in that game too, though. They were just simply brilliant. The Seahawks on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases of the ball, are just complete. They're not superstars everywhere, but you've got offensive and defensive players that are just playing out of their skin every single week, and they're well coached, and it's just simply amazing.
Are you saying that JSN is not a superstar?
No, I'm saying not all of them are super. JSN is a superstar.
He's fucking unreal, man.
So
I heard some stats today that he is on pace to be the first receiver with over 2,000 yard season.
Yeah,
that's the pace that he's on.
I'm not even surprised, mate.
Oh, amazing! And credit goes to Sam Darnold for that as well. Like he's getting him the ball.
58 receptions, 948 yards, 4 touchdowns. Only 4 touchdowns.
But how many yards? Like, Jesus
948
Christ.
yards, and we're only halfway through the season.
Yeah. So, man, it's good to see. Well, it's not good to see for me being in the same division as my Rams, but
well,
it's good to see him going well. Yeah. Fuck, I hope I don't see it too much.
All right.
I'm still wondering if the Vikings having regrets not keeping Darnold now, because, I mean, Darnold's proving that he wasn't just a one-season wonder. Like, he's managed to carry on his form to the Seahawks. Like,
there's probably regrets, but they were never going to keep him. They weren't going to pay $100 million for a quarterback.
Yeah, I guess the money issue was also the problem, because I guess
and everyone
he's probably commanding more.
Yeah, everyone says that, like, oh, the Vikings are probably upset they didn't keep Darnold. Well, yeah, you'd be upset you didn't get to keep him, but you weren't going to pay him $100 million, and someone else was going to pay him $100 million. So he was always going to go for that. And it's the same with Daniel Jones, too. Everyone says that. Oh, they had Daniel Jones, they let him out of the building. No, Daniel Jones chose to go somewhere else. That was his decision.
No, but the thing with Daniel Jones is, though, that he hadn't been doing well at the Giants, and he was at a point in his career with the Giants where he wasn't looking like the guy at the time. He wasn't looking like he was going to progress. And it's just sort of a shock that he's progressed the way he has with the Colts. Like I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card.
I think he would have still done well with the Vikings too. But again, Daniel Jones chose that he said he wanted to go somewhere else, and he didn't want to even entertain a contract from the word. So it is what it is. He made that decision. So you can be upset about it, and you can look at him and go, you're both playing amazing. Especially Sam Darnold, because he had the entire season with KOC and playing amazing. So he's obviously got a lot to thank Kevin O'Connell for. The big one for this week. No upset by the Bills. We're back, says Danny. Absolutely. What a game! Bills Chiefs was just simply amazing from start to finish. The Chiefs got on the wrong side of calls this time, but it still didn't end up helping them, because the game was just got out of hand too quickly for the Chiefs, Isaac.
Yeah, and I've got to admit I didn't see any of this game, and I haven't watched any of the highlights. So just box scores for me. So I can't really comment on how it went.
Do you watch any of this, Jack?
Oh, look, I mean, I didn't watch any of the Bills-Chiefs game, but I mean, I guess I saw the reports afterwards. And look, the fact the Bills beat the Chiefs, I mean, look, it's sort of been that sort of pattern where it's Bills beat Chiefs regular season, come playoffs, Chiefs beat Bills. It's sort of like the pattern where, it's all well and good the Bills do what they do in the regular season. It's just being able to carry it through in the playoffs and get to that elusive, even just Super Bowl game, let alone Super Bowl win as it is.
You two are absolutely missing out. This game was a sensational Chiefs Bills game. It is what the billing was all the time, but more so for the other side. Josh Allen was playing out of his skin. That guy was amazing. He was doing things that he doesn't normally do, and he ended up at 23 of 26, 273, and a touchdown. He got 2 rushing touchdowns as well. James Cook ended up with 114 yards. Once again, they were just handing the ball off to Cook, and he was absolutely dominating. You know who came alive in the receiving? And it's not just, you can see the numbers, Isaac. Dalton Kincaid. That guy played phenomenally. He had some of the best catches I've seen in a long time. But on the other side, the Chiefs this is Patrick Mahomes just laid an egg, and it was early on too. His stats right now 15 to 34.
Yeah.
Look atrocious, but they looked even worse at halftime. He was making less than half in completions of his attempts. It was ridiculous. The Bills just had him on defense. They just had KC on defense completely. They were dropping balls. He was throwing off. He was throwing long. He was throwing short. It was just, they had him rattled. They managed to get to 21-28, but the Bills just, I don't know, the Bills dominated in this, and it was great to see by the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. And I think they've found their identity with getting James Cook going early. They need to do that. They got him going against the Panthers, and he hasn't stopped.
Isaac, I love that in the rundown you put my reaction that I put up there.
I've always got to put your reaction in there.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Righto. Lions bought their dirty tactics. They bought their off-the-ball taunting, but they forgot to tighten up the penalties. Vikings played a good game, some things to work on, but keep trending in the right direction and everything will be fine. JJ McCarthy silenced a lot of critics in this game. Of course, he'd only really had one good quarter before this game, but he came out and played a pretty complete game. He didn't light up the scoreboard. He didn't light up, the stats board, I should say. He didn't really light up the stats board, but he didn't need to. He needed the rest of the cast to do exactly what they needed to do, and that was perform. And yes, the Lions bought some shit play. There was some terrible stuff going on. There was a point where, I can't remember which defender it was, but one of the young pups was just mouthing off at Jefferson while he was walking off the field. And Jefferson was just totally focused, didn't even react to anything. It's like letter of the law taunting. It's what the rule is written for, and I can't understand how you don't get a flag for it, how no referee out of 9, not one of them don't see his kid just popping off. Actual rule-written taunting. But apparently, the way the rules are written these days doesn't mean shit, because we can do anything to the letter of the law. It's only when they're subjective is when we get flags. And that's not just this rule, that's in other ones too that have happened everywhere. But yes, I think the Vikings played a really good game against a very strong Lions team who are still very, very good. The Lions are very, very good. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gibbs is phenomenal. Let's talk about, when you talk about JSN being the star, Jahmyr Gibbs is just unbelievable as a running back and as a player. That guy has, and they're using him in so many different ways now too. It's not just as on the ground; they're using him in the passing game as well, and they use him in blocking. It's just, he's a phenomenal player, and I can't get over how good he is. But yep, so Vikings will be fine. Just need to tighten some things up and go up and up.
Yeah, I did see that clip you were talking about, and it shows the level of maturity that Justin Jefferson has, that he did not react to what was going on. He just walked to the sideline and kept it going, and that probably showed what the Vikings were about in that game. They were focused in on what they needed to do to get the win, and they come out with the win.
And I guess, look, as well, like with that game, well, as a commentator said, in that game, I guess Carson Wentz's talent did show, as well as some of the other players in that game as well. And I guess that's a question that sort of begs, really, is that with that big Vikings win against the Lions, like, whether that's a turnaround for the Vikings season or whether it's a flash in the pan, one of their great games that just doesn't keep up. Like, you just, I guess, got to wonder how, like, what level they keep at for the rest of the season now, like, from this win.
Yeah, well, it'll be a big test with the next week because they've got the Ravens, so it'll show where they're at.
Well, that's the thing. Like, because I'm not sure when Lamar Jackson's supposed to come back for the Ravens.
He's back. He played this week.
Right. Okay. Well, that probably sways me towards a Ravens win then, because I was just not sure which way to go with that game. Like, ahead, like who to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else showed. There's a little bit of footage out there. What else showed the maturity and the way the Vikings are going into this game? JJ McCarthy, 2.5 hours before the game, there was vision of him sitting on the benches, hoodie on, hoodie up, basically sitting there meditating on the benches, focused, just visualizing game. While all this other stuff's going on around him, while they're setting up fields and stuff, and he just sat there, just by himself on the benches, just looking out over the field, just chill. That guy's focused. It was a weird video to see. If I could find it quickly, I would bring it up. But yeah, the commentators were commenting on it while they obviously because they're doing pre-game stuff, and they showed vision of him basically just sitting there, just full on meditation state, and he was there for a while apparently.
You might have been asleep.
Could have been. I probably would. When people talk about meditating, you say, I don't know if you ever did it in school, Isaac. In primary school, they used to get us to all sit on the floor and do that whole, like, close your eyes. And they do that talk, let's visualize things. Man, I was asleep in seconds. Yeah. I'm an ADHD kid.
Days.
I'm an ADHD kid. You asked me to lay down on the floor and close my eyes, I'm asleep. Like,
That's it. That's it.
When my eyes are awake, I'm 100%.
And I thought if you're playing against a team like the Lions, that the last thing you'd want to do is meditate. I would have thought you'd want to be like geared up and aggro for a team like the Lions.
No, I think JJ's style is to just visualize. I think obviously he visualizes everything, but he was going into a game that was pretty important to him. He had weeks off, so and then you come back in a game against the Lions, against a massive division rival. That's hard to do.
And win. Impressive.
All right, last reaction for the day. God, we've gone long on these reactions today. We're going to have to start tightening these up, Isaac. We left the best to last. The man, the myth, the legend, Manjot Melly says, halfway through the season, still feels like Philly's year, even though they didn't play today. Other contenders look shaky this week, and even though the Eagles have been as well, it's hard to see them be beat by more inconsistent / more injured teams. I want to know your thoughts on this, mate, because I commented back to him. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Yeah. What do you think? Is it the Eagles' year in the NFC?
I don't know. Like,
we're all got NFC teams, so I can say no.
Yeah, like he says they look consistent, but
I don't think they do.
The fucking Seahawks look consistent. They are such a well-rounded team. I mean, the Rams have struggled a bit, but if I'm looking at anyone at the moment, it's probably the Seahawks that just look like they're doing it easy.
Yeah, I don't know who you could pick in the NFC at the moment.
I've already made my pick, and in the NFC conference playoffs, I've got it that I think Eagles get upset along the way before the Super Bowl, and my Super Bowl pick, my Super Bowl winner for this year is actually from the NFC conference, but it's not the Eagles.
I've seen this post, so I know who it is.
Pardon?
Who is? I've seen this post, so who is it?
My pick for the Super Bowl this year is actually the Buccaneers.
You'll make Ian happy. You'll make Ian a happy man. Big Baker.
I think Baker's year to break out and get a Super Bowl to his name as well as the rest of his team. But I've got the Buccaneers to win this year's Super Bowl.
I don't know with the Bucks, because I was going to say that the Bucks are up and down. The Eagles are up and down. The Packers we talked about today up and down. The Rams haven't been great. The 49ers definitely have not been great. They're in 6th, by the way, in the NFC right now. The Lions are playing pretty well, but they're sitting in 7th in the NFC. They've really got to get some the loss, I don't know, hurts them this week.
Yeah, that was my thing there.
But the Seahawks are sitting at 6-2, equal first with the Bucks and Eagles right now, and they are looking like the more complete team right now. Yeah, 9 weeks in. It's scary.
I have to agree. I have to agree.
That's the thing, like with playoffs, is you just got to win first, you got to make it there, and then secondly, you just got to win the right games at the right times, and there's always some sort of unexpected result or upset, or some team will particular player has their breakout season, I guess. And it's like last season, like the Lions were first seed and then had the bye, and then when they came from the bye, they crashed out the Commanders. Like,
Yeah.
that was like a bit of a deflating shocker for the Lions, really, to go out in that sort of style after everything from the season.
Yeah.
It's funny, the last couple of years, the AFC's been pretty well locked up by a couple of teams at the top. It's usually been Chiefs, Ravens, Bills. But the NFC has sort of been wide open. NFC is wide open again, but not as much as we think they are, I think. But it feels like the AFC is also wide open right now.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
yeah, it's not as tight as it used to be. All right, well, they're the reactions for this week. Once again, if you want to get in on all of the reactions, get your reaction heard or read out and talked about and heard to the world, you can just go to Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network or the NFL Fans Down Under Facebook group on Monday evening each week and stick in your reactions from the week. It doesn't have to be your own team either. Just if you're a fan of football and you notice something interesting about a team that's playing or you want to get a thought out there, chuck it in there and we're happy to read it and talk about it. Manjock did just that. He's a 49ers fan and he's talking about the Eagles, and I know he hates the Eagles. So, yeah. So just get in and do that. It'd be great for us. Let's move on. Thursday night football, week 10. The Las Vegas Raiders go to Mile High to play the Denver Broncos. Jack, quick preview on this game, on how you think your Raiders are going to go against the Broncos.
Look, as I've touched on already before, the Raiders have got a brutal 4-day turnaround since playing Jaguars in Vegas to going to Denver to play Denver. And also as well, like, look, like athletes got to be fit, but with Denver being high altitude, I guess it adds a bit of an extra challenge in addition to having a 4-day turnaround, which, as I was saying before, like, is quite unusual and rare in NFL scheduling. And, yeah, look, I'd like to be optimistic, and hope that Denver play like they have the last 2 weeks, except without the one good quarter. But yeah, look, it's the least I can hope for is that Raiders can hold their own and at least make it bearable to watch.
Yeah.
But like, as an honest fan, yeah, like I don't see the Raiders coming out on top, but like the saying goes, a pessimist is never disappointed. So yeah, look, I'm definitely going to watch the game because it's on at a good time. 11:15 a.m. kickoff Friday here in our time, Queensland time. So, just got to decide where I'm going to watch it, I guess.
Isaac,
sporting Globe surfers.
Isaac, how do you feel about the Broncos in this game?
Oh, I like the Broncos this year. I think they're a really well coached team, and I think, sorry Jack, but I think their defense is going to suffocate Gino. Gino had a decent game last week, but he hasn't been playing well this year for the Raiders. So I think that defense is going to stifle him, and it may even be a shutout. They're just that good of a defense, and Bo Nix will come on and do his thing in the offense. They won't need to score much, I don't believe.
No, I don't think they. I don't know whether they. I don't know which way I feel, to be honest. It depends. If the Raiders, if Gino and Bowers play the way that they did this past week, and even Genty to a point, just they really need to figure out how to unlock Genty. The kid was phenomenal in college, and now he's in Nowheresville, and we haven't seen that in a long time with a running back, because most running backs are pretty consistent from college to the NFL. You only have to look at Scatterbo for that proof in purchase. But if Gino and Bowers can link up again and they can get some pretty decent play out of Myers, then they might give the Broncos a little bit of a run for their money because they have been exposed on quite a few occasions to the passing game. But the Broncos, I don't know. They are Sean Payton. I hate the guy, but he does know how to scheme up a team pretty well and knows how to pre-plan stuff and knows how to get them off on the right foot. But they do get shaky in fourth quarters, so that if the Raiders can stay in it, they might have some kind of epiphany and actually figure out how to win a game in a fourth quarter.
And actually, there's one player that I guess got overlooked that could also be dangerous if he can, I guess, have that breakout like he did against the Jaguars is Mostert. Like Mostert had one really great run, at least against the Jaguars last week, and if they can utilize him too, and he can get a break or a few breaks and get through, then that can also make another difference of dimension for the Raiders as well. But it's a big what ifs.
Yep. Massive what ifs.
100%.
Massive. All right. So Broncos, Raiders, Thursday night football, 11:15 a.m. Eastern time, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. On
we
Friday.
don't have daylight savings in Queensland, so
no, because you guys don't believe in sunshine needing to be up.
It's actually
we
12:15.
get enough sunshine as it is anyway.
No, we talked about this with Brad, mate. He lives in Queensland as well. It needs to be up. It needs to have daylight savings. You need to have it.
What part of Queensland is he?
He's in and around Brisbane.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, that's not far from me. I'm just in Broadbeach, just down the road from Surfers Paradise.
Yeah, well, you need to see that, and that's the perfect spot to have daylight savings, mate, because shops need to be open and pumping at 9 o'clock at night. Okay, because that's what would happen in Queensland.
It's actually 12:15 in for
Is it
Australian Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
All right, 12:15. It would be, yes, because we're back in the daylight time now. The correct time of day in Australia right now. So 12:15 for the lower eastern states, 11:15 for Queensland. What does that make? That makes that 11:45 for South Australia because they need to be different. Whatever it makes it for WA, because I'm not doing 3-hour calculations.
WA 3 hours behind us because WA also doesn't have daylight savings.
Yeah, so whatever that is, it makes us
9:15 a.m. WA. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what a time to watch football. 9:15. I just realised what that would make the rest of the Monday slate of games in WA. It would make that gross. Everything starts at midnight.
Grossly early.
You can't stay up. Anyway, that I would hate that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. As always, all the links in the socials, linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. Jack, thank you very, very much for joining us and having a chat tonight. It's been great.
It's been a pleasure joining.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks heaps for joining in. So if you want to join in on anything, hit up the Linktree. Hit us up on Facebook. Check it out on YouTube. Like and subscribe because it all helps us. And thanks very much. And we'll see you later in the week for Week 10 previews.